Yeah, this goes back to 1964. And picture this, 21 years old, sitting on Broadway in Seaside, watching the cars go by, and kind of checking out the boys, my girlfriend and I, sitting there. Policeman comes up to the car, knocks on the window, and says, "Ladies, you need to get out of here. There's a tsunami coming." Well, we barely knew what a tsunami was, but we did have an inkling because in Seaside, there was fire sirens that went off whenever there was a fire. And for a tsunami alert, they had decided that there would be a different kind of signal sent out. So it was 3 short blasts on the fire alarm system throughout town. The only problem with that, there had been false alarms. And there'd probably been about 6 or 8 false alarms that over the past 2 summers. So everybody was getting a little bit kind of deciding it's another false alarm. We evacuated a couple weeks ago and now we're going to sit this one out. But when I heard the policeman say to us, "There's been an earthquake in Alaska, there is a tsunami, get to high ground." So we both went home. We rousted up our parents. I rousted up my brother. We threw our clothes in the car. I took the cat, he took the dog. Our folks took out ahead of us, and we started for high ground on the Lewis and Clark main line, which is above Seaside. My folks, I don't know, my dad, he really took off, so we lost sight of him, and my brother and I were together. We were going north, and guess what? There's a river and a bridge at the north end of Seaside. We got there just in time to meet the tsunami that was coming up the Nekanicum and Neawana River. So my brother's in front of me. The wave and a log comes over the top of the bridge and hits his front of his car and the wheel. And then the wave goes under me and I float a little bit in my little Oldsmobile Cutlass. And I'm thinking, oh, is Larry going to be able to keep going? And fortunately, neither one of us got swamped, and he was able to keep going. It was a wild ride because the whole front end of the car was shaking, and we went down in the low spot and then up to the high place on the Lewis and Clark main line at what was then Crown Zellerback's logging camp. And we spent the night there. And in that time and place, there wasn't much in the way of communication as far as whether it was you were going to be notified that it was all clear. We tried to get a radio station on the car, turned the car on, and it was the Astoria station who knew nothing about what was going on, and all they did was play music. So that was pretty frustrating. The part of it was we didn't know where our parents were. We thought they were ahead of us and they had made it. They weren't in the same place that we were. And we were really prepared. We had all of our clothes in each one of our cars. We had no food, and we had the cat and the dog. And we had no idea how long we were going to stay up there at the logging camp. Fortunately, as dawn broke, there was an all clear, and we came down off the hill. I had to be at work in Astoria, And I figured it was pretty important, since I worked for the power company, that they would want me. And so I gave the cat to my brother. I drove to Astoria, joined my co-workers there who knew nothing of what we had been through from that evening to morning. But it puts you in the frame of mind of, boy, when you have to get out, you have to get out. And if you're not prepared, you put yourself and your family in a kind of an untenable situation as far as communication. It's the perfect storm, not knowing where they were or how long you were going to be where you were. So that's my one little survivor story. And as you know, if you go back and you look at, the earthquake was in Alaska, Anchorage was devastated, and all along the coast there was devastation and loss of life from the mere force of that water.